Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. DMG checking in for another video. Today I'm going to be doing the Akula versus the Hunter H1 review. Sold on cash and carry, this thing will set you back 2,785,000 smackaroons on trade price. But is it really worth the mammoth price tag? And that's what we're going to be finding out today compared to the Hunter H1. Without flying this thing, you can just tell it looks really nice. It's got a front-facing 50 cal machine gun and well, I've heard through the grapevine that there are two night vision cameras, one for thermal and one for FLIR. And it has the option of homing missiles or barrage missiles, and that's the thing that sets it apart from the Hunter, is that you have the option to have the homing missiles or the barrage missiles. You can't have both, and I think that's the only downside of having this aircraft compared to the Hunter. So I'm going to go ahead and start the engines, and we're going to take this puppy out for a fly. You can tell that it's got two massive headlights. I think they're the most powerful out of any helicopter in the game. Definitely more than the Buzzard. I'm going to go ahead and put the gear up. You can tell that underneath the aircraft, that's where the machine guns are for the pilot operated machine guns, and these fold into the body when you pop it in stealth mode. Handling this thing is no different from any other helicopter because it's got the standard handling on it. I find that putting it on race handling really does mess up the aircraft because it jiggles all over the place, doesn't fly in a straight line. I think for old school GTA players, a lot of us are used to the standard handling on helicopters. Looking at this thing in the hangar, you can tell that it has all the average sort of aircraft modification specs. You can have a dual 50 cal turret for the passenger, but that's a waste of time really because no one really uses the turret. I found doing contact missions, not one person has used the 50 cal machine gun, probably because it doesn't have a lot of range, also because it doesn't really have much damage. You can upgrade the armor to take about 3 RPG missiles. You can upgrade the engine, the bombs. Obviously explosive is probably better than any of the other ones. Right. I did a bit of experimenting with them. And like I said earlier, you can edit the handling up to race handling, but I find that it's not really worth it because the stock handling is what old GTA players are used to. You can obviously upgrade the liveries, but I haven't done much research, but you can unlock those with research. Now all of that the Hunter can do, but the most important difference about these two aircraft is that you can either have the missile barrage or the homing missiles. I find without the homing missiles, it does look a bit armless, or any of the missiles for that matter. It kind of feels like it hasn't got any arms, but as soon as you put the missiles on, it gives it a good strong pair of arms, and it looks like a pretty threatening aircraft. It can't take flares, which is the only disadvantage over the Hunter, aside from the missiles. But if you are in stealth mode and you're stealthy enough, then you probably won't need them in the first place.
Blowing up shit's easy.
So we're going to take this thing out for a flight round LS now, and we're going to go and kill these guys that had a real hard on for me when I was playing the game earlier. They just wouldn't stop killing me. And I'm going to show you how to use stealth mode to your advantage. Now, although it does take you completely off the radar, it does mean that people can still physically see you, and well, that means that stealth mode is no good. So the best thing you can do is sneak up on your opponents when they're least expecting it. You can see I'm giving it quite a wide girth around the two players that I want to kill, so that they don't see me. They're probably looking on their radar and thinking, well, there's nothing there, so I don't need to worry about it, but they'd be very much mistaken, because there is an Akula about to come and kill them. Another downside to stealth mode is that you can't use the weapons when you're in stealth mode because the machine guns are hidden inside the fuselage, and you can open up the stealth mode and fire away, and then go straight back into stealth mode and just fly away, and then they won't ever know where you are because you're in stealth mode. And I guess that's the best thing about this aircraft, is you can resort to guerrilla tactics, and it works very effectively. So is this helicopter worth the price tag? Well, I would say yes, because it has lots and lots of advantages in the battlefield. It's not as combat ready as the Hunter, as we'll find out. But if you can learn to use the stealth mode to your advantage, it is a very effective weapon, and in the right hands could probably be the best helicopter in the game, given that it has stealth mode and it can have barrage missiles or homing missiles. Moving on to the Hunter, it's a pretty much exact replica of the Apache longbow, apart from the giant fins on the back. I find that looks pretty ugly. You can upgrade the armor, just like the Akula. You can upgrade through flares, smoke and chafe. I find the flares are the best because when someone knocks onto you, you can shake them off. You can upgrade the engine up until level 4. I've upgraded it to race handling just to make it a bit more combat ready. I know that it's a bit hypocritical. And you can get an explosive turret for the gunner, which is exactly the same with that of the Valkyrie. You can get bombs. I haven't put bombs on this because I've got some on the Akula. What I'm going to do now is show you guys a split screen of how the Hunter and the Akula both perform in combat. Noticeably, the Hunter is a lot lighter on its feet as opposed to the Akula. You can see that the Akula is quite sluggish, it's struggling to get around, it's sort of dragging its feet, whereas the Hunter is just skipping around and you can get lots of different angles around the battlefield so you can shoot more targets. It's quite important to get the trajectory right with the missiles, else it will just, because it's quite hard to change the missile's trajectory once it's been fired, so you need to get around lots of different positions so that you can fire really accurately. The Akula is doing quite well. Like I said earlier, the only difference with the Akula and the Hunter really is that you can only get one or the other in terms of missiles with the Akula. There is a pilot operated machine gun on the Akula, but it's not really worth using because it's non-explosive and you have to have really good accuracy to get any damage on any vehicles or people. So it certainly does beg the question, which helicopter is better? Well, personally I think it's the Hunter because you get a lot more bang for your buck. You get a wide range of weapons, including the barrage and the homing missiles and the flares, and the gunner can have a turret as well. So that's it for now guys, I'll see you in the next video, goodbye!